Hi guys, and welcome back from Carly at the Herbathicary. Really good to see you guys again. If you're new to the channel or like the videos, please show your support by hitting like and subscribe down below. So a quick disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor or an ethnobotanist. I own a lot of good guidebooks and have been doing this for a while. So please always do your own thorough research first. Don't pick anything unless you're 100% sure of what it is. Check with a book, check with the internet, check with an experienced forager that might know more than you. Always make sure you've got the landowner's permission before you pick anything. Avoid areas of high pollution where they might have used pesticides, and pick as high as you can to avoid where animals might have sprayed. Do not pick endangered species. Please always make sure that you only take as much as you need. Leave some for the creepy crawlies and the birds. And it is advisable to leave your foraged finds outside for at least half an hour in a cool place so that any of those creepy crawlies can find a new home. And always thoroughly wash your findings before you use them. So October is a rather quiet time here for us when it comes to foraging at the Herbathicary. We went out and raced the squirrels at the beginning of October to collect some of those conkers or horse chestnuts, which we turned into laundry detergent, conditioner, hand wash, liquid soap really. And then we pretty much spend the rest of October getting ready for my kids' favorite season, which is Halloween, and obviously preserving all of our forages throughout the year and any excess that we've grown in the garden. Now my girls and I did go out and harvest some sweet chestnuts from the safe tree in the park by us. Unfortunately, my daughter stole the memory card to stick in her GoPro and managed to delete all the footage of that. This special little nut is so full of vitamins and nutrients, I really didn't want to leave it off the list. So there is a small one on my journey to work each day. However, this beauty is on an industrial estate, so I won't be eating these ones. We have already processed the other ones. We turned it into, added instead of pine nuts in pesto, and we roasted some. We made a nut butter. The ones on this tree, I filmed this back in the beginning of September and they weren't quite ready yet. They were still very green. But as summer ends and we head into autumn, this tree is almost unmistakable from anything else with its serrated leaves. The older ones, the bark is amazing, and obviously these huge, very spiky little green balls that contain the nuts. Some of these have matured quicker than others. As you can see, some of those pods have already burst open from where the seed swells, and the bigger nuts have fallen out. But despite that, some of the smaller seeds inside are still not actually ripe yet. Now, the lady who parks her car next to this, it was encroaching on her parking space, so she broke some of the branches off before they were ready. So I brought a couple of these home, as I recently found out that the bark and the leaves have been used medicinally as a natural painkiller to help with throat infections. They apparently even contain a molecule that's helped to neutralize the superbug MRSA. So I will be harvesting and drying some of these leaves of the ones that aren't ready yet and doing some more research into that. But here's one of the green ones, and as you can see, those seeds or nuts are still green. They haven't actually formed their shell yet, so these ones would not be ready. Just wanted to open this one up and show you. Now they're very spiky, so I do suggest wearing big gloves, which I will do when I come back well, when I came back rather. This is earlier footage of September when they weren't quite ready, but I did go back, well, yesterday, and collect some of those ones that are already ready, but I wouldn't suggest eating these nuts that clearly aren't. But as the ripe nuts contain not only vitamins A and C, they also contain almost all of the B vitamins, so B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9 and 12, and high in protein, fiber, calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc and copper. So definitely not one to miss off your foraging list. Apparently when they're ready, you can remove them from the husk by just rolling them under your foot or under a board. However, it clearly doesn't seem to work with them when they're not quite ripe. I do again suggest though a really thick pair of gloves, but they are well worth braving those spikes for the nuts. Now it's November 8th, I think, and these ones are ready. Some of them actually popped out already, so I didn't have to try get in there and get them out. But some of these are a lot smaller, so I'm going to see what I can harvest from these ones. The bigger save tree that we harvested from actually had two huge nuts in it, but the norm that I've found is there'll be one big nut in the middle and two smaller nuts on either side. Now those ones I've found are usually empty or don't have much nut meat in them, so I don't bother with them. I just go for the big ones in the middle. Once removed from their prickly husk, I then leave them for 2 to 3 days on a tray on a nice warm windowsill, and this helps convert these starches into sugars and they become a lot sweeter. I find if you eat them straight away like this, they have kind of an astringent quality. So what we do with all of them, and it's very important before you cook them any way you do, is you want to score them. You want to cut through that shell just across the brown bit. Now as I said, we've used these in instead of pine nuts in pesto. I've roasted them and cut them up and popped them on salads, the nut butter, and of course we've just enjoyed them roasted on an open fire, as the song says. But the easiest way I found to prepare them is to boil them. So these ones would normally have sat around for 2 to 3 days. As I'm not eating these ones and I'm doing the whole video now, I'm not doing that bit, but the shell does toughen up quite a bit after those few days. Make sure you cut through the shell completely so they don't explode on you. Then my favorite way to do them is just in my steam pot, or my pressure cooker rather. Just pop them in, sprinkle them with a little bit of sugar. This is just my preferred recipe. You can leave the sugar out if you want, depending on what you're going to use them for. You might not want to sweeten them up anymore. And then top them up with boiling water. I only use boiling water at this point as it speeds up the boiling process. And then pop my lid on and leave them to simmer away for normally takes between 5 and 10 minutes, not that long. And then after 10 minutes, I just scoop them out, pop them on the side to cool for a little bit, as they will be absolutely boiling. But the best part about doing them this way is the shell skin actually pop, and then you can just easily pull that apart and pull the beautiful nut meat out. And then of course they can go into the recipe of your choice. I am so tempted to roast these ones and have them on a salad for lunch, but as I said, that industrial estate, it's right in the middle of that, and I wouldn't want to risk it. But I will be enjoying the ones that we got from the big tree in the park. Again, thank you guys for coming back to the Apothecary. It was great to see you again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.